We're back to building another, continuing our GIMP. So here's our GIMP setup, and we did this last time. Now we're gonna add something like jungles, because I haven't talked about roamers really. Roamers is the new unique type that I built in my game. And so I'll build some roamer jungles first. And essentially a roamer jungle is the same as a normal jungle, really, but you don't get gold from the creeps. Which may go, wait, why do you need that? Because they don't benefit from golds. Like in LoL, all abilities scale with something. For example, you may get extra damage because you have more ability power or attack power. Roamers don't get any of that. They have zero scaling or very little. Sometimes they may have a little bit on their best ability. And so thus you don't need the gold. And that way it means, I wish I didn't have to do that. But like I knew if I had to, if I didn't do it, it would be abused. Like crazy. I'm not even joking it, it's like, would be ridiculously crazy. Now this isn't a roamer's jungle, this is just like a normal kind of jungle area, right? So it's just gonna, I don't really map out a lot of this stuff because there's gonna be like a lot of trees in there, a lot of little hidden areas, you know, a lot of secret things. So this is kind of just probably, you know, this is just to show that there's going to be areas here. Like along here, this may be a river. This may be a river here, right? So you obviously can't go between this because there's obviously going to be something blocking you. But maybe it's a river and you can have a bridge between it. Don't know. You know? Same over here. I actually kind of like that idea though. So I'm just going to change it to like a paint tool. Paint tool. And paint. And then we can maybe like draw a little bridge, which can be like a pink one, I don't know. Like this, just two bridges. Just random colors. And over here too. Wow, okay, bad with my coloring. And then do we do it this way too? Maybe, I don't know. That's fine, right now. So this little bridge. And then you have the jungles here, which are just kind of jungling areas. And then you also have a, so I kind of decide, this is really where the map kind of takes shape. This is probably going to be the roamer's jungle, and this area here is probably going to be like another one of these green dirt jungle areas. So just kind of wall it off properly. Maybe it's like this, and then we can switch to paint this tool. There we go. Even though there's actually technically a little bit here they could sneak past, it was smart enough to realize I wanted it to stop. That's pretty good. Let's clear out those yellow bits. And just gonna trim this a bit more. So there's that bit and there, and then there's also going to be a bit of jungle. Do you know that's going to be a roamer's bit? Stuff it. I want this to be a roamer's bit, and that can be a roamer's. That's not the roamer's color because we've already used this one. We're trying to use different colors here, and that can be roamer's, and then we can build an overall roamer's-ish jungle. And since this goes here, we probably can build one like that. That's not too bad with this and this. So that's like the roamer's jungle areas. And then this is the jungling areas. So I don't know how many camps you want. So along here, there we get camp here. And we don't want those for camps. So what color? We're going to use like black for walls, and obviously since this is jungling area, there's also going to be a bit of camping. So if we just put creatures down, it's just about placing walls to cover the creatures. So I guess we can just do this, and we can just go get creature down there. Creature, creature. It's like it's actually interchangeable. If I did it properly, it wouldn't be like this. It would be like, you start there, you have this, and you have creatures all along the jungle. And you have like creatures over here. Actually, maybe I like the idea of having that jungle there, but I also didn't. Just then I was like, gee, I don't like that. So I'm gonna change a bit. I'm gonna make the jungle, and actually I want this color, to start really here. So there's gonna be big creep over here, but like obviously behind the wall. So like here, 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 kind of thing. There's gonna be one more up here, one down here, one down here, and then we're gonna have the nice little green one we had, which is like this. No, that wasn't the green one that we had. We had this one. Yeah, like this, to show that there's gonna be like a little forest area here. We're gonna make the creeps a slightly different color. How do we make them like a pink, purplish? Just like click on all of them. These aren't like they're pretty different color. So these three are the big ones because they're bigger dots, and the other three are the smaller ones. So there's gonna be like 3 big creatures with 3 small ones, or maybe even we could put like 2 more there. And these are more spread out like this. So then there's one big creature, which is just gonna be like a light pinkish color. It's gonna be like one big one here, and one big one here. This one's gonna be the bigger one, which is why I've given it a bigger pinkish one. There's no need for me to code these. I'll just put monsters there. And then what else we need is we also need, like, this is a pretty detailed map. I'm just thinking, what do we want to have here? I think this is going to be a, well, we've already, oh, this has got to be the jungle area, because this is where you're jungling. Oh, that's right. I thought I had this color. We just click here. Click here. It's like where the jungle starts. Kind of thing. And then we can kind of put a creeps down. So this is actually gonna be jungle all the way through. It's just, I just put this little bit of thing here just to show that where it starts. So this is a smaller jungle, and you go, well, this one starts sooner. Yes, but both players have access to this one. But this one, both players also have access to this one. So it's kind of, do you want to go for the smaller jungle, or do you want to go for this big jungle? The smaller jungle does have more creeps though, so I guess it's more fair. And I may even wall off. Like this. It's not really a wall off, but it kind of makes people have to go through the lane, and the lane isn't really shown that well, so we'll just kind of boost up the lane a little bit like that. But it's kind of showing that you kind of have to go through the lane to get to these parts, so you kind of have to go around like this. So it is 2 different-ish areas, and there's going to be big creep here, big creep here, big creep here, and tiny little monsters. Which aren't going to be tiny ones, there's going to kind of be the weaker ones. That's still quite difficult. And the big ones, comparison to the small ones, the camps aren't that different in looking. They're just kind of slightly different probably. And that one's got this area, so these are going to be equal. It's like a big pizza, like these pieces slices. And now we haven't done Romer's jungle. Well, these are Romer's bit, but what's this bit here? This bit's going to be a few things. One, it's going to be a, because we want paths to connect them all, so we're actually going to have like a dirt path. And the difference between a dirt path and this is like the color, obviously, is going to be quite different, and it's just going to go right down like that. It's going to be a bit thicker. And the buff's gonna go all the way, and I messed that up. No, I can't do anything what I want to do. And then we can just get this, and then just kind of re-push over like this, and then what we can do is now we can get this and push this up here as well, push this down here. There's less room as jungle over here, so we kind of, the point is like this doesn't seem as equal as it should. So we are just gonna increase the room as jungle. And then, unless we make the whole Romer's jungle like the whole thing, so there's not specific jungles for like Romer jungles. I like that idea, but we will cut. So even this looks like it separates it. This is just one big jungle. You go, well, this is more over here. But yeah, is that necessarily good? But we could cut away a little bit like this. So I think we actually are just gonna slice away a bit. I then color that in like that, so that's a bit more fair. Maybe cut away a bit more. Like that. And that's basically it for that Romer's jungle. This one's pretty one-sided over here, so we will just kind of push this down a bit. Maybe make it a bit bigger. And then we can fill this area in. This is kind of like that. And it's kind of over here. And I guess we can finally get this and finally push it to this one and push it to this one like this. So there is like a road that passed through both. I don't like that. Like it going to here and going to here like this. And then you got the Romer's jungle. And 30 minutes, okay. So I'm just trying to wrap this up. I don't know what we'll have here. I think if we have more jungle, well, not really, this isn't really jungle. Should we get like jungle areas here and have these just as the boss areas? Except for this is way too big. But that could happen. I'm gonna try that right now. Let's go do this. And then we can delete all you and delete you, and you. And then we can join you together. And then maybe even this is just like a first design. This has been changed a few times, but I'm happy enough with it to build it. So then we can just kind of build this area out quite a bit. So this is like going to be a big area. And I think I'm going to make this go a lot harder, because the thing is, before, MOBAs felt quite arcadey in the way that the bosses are handled. I don't like how it all handles its Baron and stuff like that, because they feel like very much objectives, as they call them, and I don't think they should be. I think they should give you buffs, but they don't feel like objectives that you need to get every 10 minutes. It's like, yeah, I don't like the respawn. Just give me a second. It's a really hot day today, so turning our fans and stuff. Okay, you shouldn't hear the fan, and while it's like spinning around, you should hear it a little bit, but then it should stop because it's like a special fan that's like compact and like pops out. It's really cool. Then we can just do this. So the thing is, I guess if we're making this our jungle area, we're just gonna kind of do this. Shave of that. This would be a jungle area, okay. And then same with over here. So you'd have Roma's jungles here, which is gonna extend. Nope, not that much, just that much. And then, so that's the Roma's jungles. They're quite big, as you can see. Then we have the mid laners with their mid lane jungles. And then we have this up here, which I change it, but we're just gonna change. Actually, no, we do want this here. And do this, and we're gonna click undo. Shave off a little bit. Okay, there we go. Then make it down to like 10 again. There we go, where we can just kind of shave this off. Shave this down, do this. So this isn't really a jungle here. I'm actually gonna make it nothing, like just wide. So this is kind of going to be a boss area too. And I'll put a boss here. Like this, and then this boss has been a bit too big, so I'm just going to push him back like this, and then we can just curve a path out for him. And as long as we're curved, we should be able to just turn out these big pieces like this, and then just move it a little once. And then just make this bit bigger and give it much more of a curve. So these are just the areas that it holds. So unlike in other games, you know, obviously you got Baron and you have your dragon. I just couldn't remember the name of it. In this, you don't have the same thing, right? You don't have that kind of similarity, or at least in this map, I decided that there's still like big enemy bosses and stuff, but then they're much more on the Baron side of things than they are on the what would you count as the dragon side. They do much more give you bonuses than they do just like permanent bonuses, which is dragon. They just give you like permanent bonuses, which I like the idea of, but they feel too static. It feels like, okay, we have to get it every 10 seconds. It feels like a very chore sometimes. I don't like that as much, so that's something I am gonna kind of shave away and move that chore. And we can do something like this. Now, I mean, this map looks pretty good, right? Everyone's gonna have the lanes they like more than the lanes they don't like. It kind of turned out a bit trashy in the end because I stopped using like the proper tool of, you know, getting everything straight and stuff. But it looks okay. Let's go our lanes again. Like this, like this. This all the way up to over here. These lanes a bit bigger, just to kind of demonstrate actually how big they are, because these ones aren't big enough. I mean, yes, make these ones a bit bigger. This a bit bigger. We can make this a bit bigger, and And this is way too big, so we're just gonna cut this down a bit. Like this. And we have some more work up top to do to make this a bit bigger. Yeah, it's just gonna be this like this. The outside lane is the thing about the top lane is that since the outside lane's gee, we're gonna make it like this big, and then we can just kind of this. Side lane's gonna be superior in the way that it's a much larger lane, and the bot lane, this as you see, the inside lane's quite it's much more it's a bigger lane, the inside lane here than this lane, where this side is a bit bigger. So it means that you're seeing the top players play a bit closer, where the bottom players play a bit far away. And there's going to be towers on both sides here. So you're going to have 2 towers here, and here you're just going to have 1 tower. And then so what you'll most likely do is I will have 2 towers here. Alright. Actually, no, I won't, because that benefits one person way too much. You probably just have a tower here, and a tower here. And a tower here. And then here you'd have a tower like here-ish and a tower back here. The problem about having these little corner bits is that means it stuffs up your tower positions. Because if I have a tower here and a tower here, that's fine. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty okay. But then over here you need a tower here and like a tower here-ish. And you just gotta make sure that the distances between towers are fine. Which is mostly what you do inside of Unity. You do a lot of stuff. And do you just want to smooth this out? So we've kind of cut into this. This is just kind of your go-through path, whether or not this is a river, or whether or not this is just like a dirt path or whatever. It just kind of shows what how to go through. So if you're a roamer, you can like roam properly. And then that's it. There's not much else to it. I'm pretty happy with that map. It doesn't look great, but it shows. So now I want to play some tower positions. These aren't the final positions, and these are just an example of where they could be. Bright pink, why not? It's too well. Oh, we could do red. That's what we did before. So we have red tower here. Nah, not there. That's too close. Like here. And here. Then like here. And here. That's too much on this side. But anyway, these distances are the same. These distances are the same as these ones and these ones. So they're all kind of the same distance. That's pretty close. Then here, I'm gonna have a tower here. So this side's gonna have its tower over here. Over like here. Like this. And so yeah, like this. This isn't actually big enough, so we will might as well make it a bit bigger because we have enough space to make it bigger. And then we're getting this little thing a bit bigger. Gotta worry about the jungle just to do that. And then we could do this. So they're the 2 towers. And the distance between these are going to be the same. And then we want like another tower like here for both. So we want like one here and one here. And then we want the same kind of over here, like one over here and one over here. And then the thing is, regardless, there's going to be a new kind of tower, which is like an inhibitor or similar. And it's going to be situated right here and right here. Now this kind of makes top a lot more important than what you normally think, because now there's 2 ways you have to cover, as well as making having an inhibitor that boosts your minions. It's not really an inhibitor in the normal sense. It just basically it gives your crystal a invulnerability period if it's up. so you need to destroy it. Or it would maybe, I don't know, buff your creatures or something like that. Or maybe to upgrade station for your creatures, maybe you can upgrade your creatures, whatever. It's something important that is important to the game. So your top champions or your top heroes are normally quite tanky and are normally quite weak against towers to stop a lot of rushes. So having 2 top is very important because it means that you have a lot of tank characters who can't really take towers. So it means if you go down, gank from top to bot and back up to top again, it's not like you've lost a game. You know, it's to compensate that. So that's why maybe pulling in a character like that's a mid laner that's quite good at destroying towers, maybe pushing that to top to help gank and stuff like that. That's where a lot of the strategy comes in, is that bot isn't the only important lane anymore. Now, bot is going to have one right here, and one right here. These guys are going to have one right here, yeah, and right here. Now, there's not much difference. People go, oh, well, this is worse because you don't have, like, this thing here. I could easily build one here, and I think I am, actually. Hey, symmetry is fun. You want symmetry sometimes. We can just copy and paste, and then we can move it like something like here. Rotate it. That. And then we can move it like in a bit more. We kind of want to like fit in there. Like fit in like this. Oh no, it's actually meant to fit in here, so we can rotate it to fit in here. Like this. It's kind of meant to, we're gonna have to push it forward a bit, this tower, but that's kind of it. That's pretty good. And then we can click outside. We can click here. Make this black and then black all this out. And then we do want to select this and like this, where this is the bigger root, we actually do want to make this a smaller root. And not that small, but yeah, kind of small-ish. Like that, with like that. Then we can kind of push this over here. And then, actually we're gonna probably, let's make this a bit more jungly. Actually I like being at roamers here. So we'll kind of push back the jungle a bit. To make room for more roamers. And then, so roamers have more area over here. And mainly because the top is much more important. The top's like the old bot, kind of. Because the top is much more important because ganks can win or lose a game, where bot's less important, but it's still very important because in bot you still need your support and stuff because of these curves, because it's the quickest paths to base of the mid. But you know, this is the longest, meaning that you know, if you wipe out this entire wave, sure you're gonna have a lot of minions, but it's a long walk. Even something like this, it's still a long walk and stuff, where this is a lot quicker. So I mean, bot's still important, but it's kind of been nerfed a bit, in a way. This isn't really proper. This should be more like, honestly, like this. Let's kind of clear this bit out. You can kind of get what I'm saying, you know. It's pretty bad in the end, but it kind of worked out. And now we do actually need to place towers, so we're going to place one here and one right here. Now this really should be stopping like it stops here. This is not really angled properly, but you know, this blue here may be gone and stuff, but you can definitely see how the base will look like. So that's kind of the map view. I'll put this in maybe actually I won't put this in the description, but if you do want a copy of it, I don't know, I probably won't give that a copy of this, but because it's so bad, but it's a nice idea. Like originally my series was kind of teaching you how to build a MOBA, now it's kind of turned into let me build a MOBA, which is kind of interesting. Because originally it was like all my series was, yeah, let's code something. Now it's much more of let's actually build a MOBA. I do want to do a bit more than just building a MOBA. I want to go back to some of my older series, which is stuff like make coding fun, and that's mainly the real series I want to do, because I quite enjoy doing stuff like that because they're much smaller projects. What to say, I've got a bunch of projects probably lined up that I could probably do, but thanks guys for watching. Another video is down the drain. I'm kidding.